canvas, so down here. And then you're going to want it to be a little bit lighter with quite a bit more white, kind of from here up. And so you can just use a little bit of water. You're probably going to use quite a bit of that blue and green, and it'll just cover the whole canvas.
Are you washing out before the white or just mixing the white?
I'm just mixing the white in. I'm letting whatever's on my brush just sort of work in. If you look at the original, it's just kind of worked. It's almost like an ombre effect. So all of the paints are kind of working together, and it's darker at the bottom and it moves lighter up toward the top.
Are we going all the way to the edge?
Yes, yes. And you can paint around the edge of the canvas if you want. Some people, when you hang it on your wall, they like to see the paint covering around the edge of the canvas. A lot of artists don't, so you can just go to the edge or you can wrap around if you think you'd like that effect. I've got a little music going in the background, but if that's messing up the audio or anything, just yell at me.
I can't even hear it.
Oh, good. Okay. Maybe I should crank it up when we can all jam out. Or if you want to mute yourself and drink some wine and rock out.
Now, are we going all the way to the top too?
Sorry?
Are we going all the way to the top?
Yes, yeah. So covering the whole canvas, and the only thing you have to know is that you want more white toward the top and the middle where the llama's head is going to be. It just kind of gives her a little bit of a halo effect.
Are you rounding the white, like shaping it, or just throwing it in just a middle section?
So I'm putting white on my brush like this, just over the top of whatever's on there. I'm just kind of splatting it on there, and then I'm kind of crisscrossing over it.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm kind of just going back and forth with my brush in like a series of large X's to kind of mix the paint together, but you can still see my brush strokes.
Okay.
And it looks way sloppy. So, just kind of a complete mess. And you kind of, it's definitely very messy, not super uniform, but it's messy over the whole canvas, so you still kind of get a uniform effect. I've got color on my whole canvas, and I'm just going to work in a little bit more white around where her head is going to be.
Don't produce. Is anyone else painting with their pets around?
Yeah, I got 2 dogs next to me.
No.
I have 4 children.
Well, if you can count a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old, then yes.
My Prudence is trying to get my water.
My kids have literally set up TV trays surrounding me so they could watch me paint tonight.
That's funny. That's cute.
That's fantastic.
If they're lucky, I'll get their paint stuff out.
You girls be good.
And then when it's covered and it's appropriately crazy, you're going to want to let it dry. It will take a little while, because right after this, we're gonna have a dry break. So the sooner it dries, the sooner we can get started on the next part. So you don't wanna add too much paint. Once you're done, we're just gonna let it sit. So you can hang out, turn up the music, do some laundry, the beauty of being at home, or don't, because we're painting.
Oh. Should you see at all through the painting?
What, Christina?
Like, should you see the canvas through any of it?
No, so definitely the goal with acrylic painting is always to cover any of the canvas showing through. So you definitely, whether you achieve that by adding more paint to your brush and just getting a nice thick layer of acrylic, or if you add a little bit of water, you can also make the color stretch a little bit more that way. You definitely want to cover all of the white showing through. Yeah, and it kind of shows through as like little dots, and that's how you can tell it's the canvas and not the white from your brush.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Damn little white dots. I mean, darn little white. Sorry.
Sometimes they're hard to get rid of.
It helps. Just add a little more water and your paint will go right into the little dots.
Yeah, I did that, and then it's still like, it'll dry a minute, and then it'll still seep through.
Huh.
So if that's the case, I would say maybe thicker paint. Just not being afraid to add a nice thick layer of paint to your paintbrush. And I put tons and tons of paint on my canvas, just layer it on there, and sometimes the canvas does soak it up, for sure. That's why we prime them with the gesso, well, the company we get them from, but sometimes it still soaks up quite a bit of that paint.
Yeah, I think I was too conservative with the paint because that's
Yeah.
working now.
It's kind of frustrating because sometimes I get so much paint on my canvas, I have to wait forever to let it dry. But it definitely gives you a richness and depth of color, and then it's also easier to fill all those tiny little dots.
Sorry if I'm holding anyone up.
I think we were gonna have my canvas is nowhere near dry, so take your time, take your time. Gives us a good amount of time to let it dry.
And then you also said adding white around the top.
Yeah, so you want to focus your white around the middle and toward the top. You can see I have dark blue kind of near the bottom here. The white goes down into it, but I focus my white in the middle and over on the right just a little and toward the top, but it's still all very mixed in and kind of crazy.
Say hi.
Hi, Libby.
Say hi, Shady.
Hi, Libby. Hi. Hi. Sorry. There we go.
I can't see you.
She's like, what is talking to me?
Say hi.
Hi.
There, hi.
Hi.
Mom's got assistants.
What? It's the same stuff from last night, honey. Aubrey.
She has all of her kids with her. All of them. We're all eating around the table.
That's awesome.
What do you want? You want down? You want to go eat avocado? You have to sit upstairs.
Libby. Mom, can she come sit next to me?
No, I'm not bringing her.
No, like right here in my chair. I'll watch her.
While she eats? Yeah. She's not eating avocado down here.
Yeah. Can she have cauliflower?
I haven't cooked it.
Any new foods that she can eat?
No, I'm not trying anything right now.
Is that Christina?
Yeah.
Hi, Christina.
Hey.
Show me my belly.
Hello.
Christina's possessive. Her iPad's named for her.
What?
Said your iPad's named Christina's iPad. Don't touch it. It's mine.
Yep. Mine.
I'll see it. So my canvas is still pretty wet. Is everybody done with their background and now we're waiting for it to dry?
Yeah. Ours are wet too.
I'm still getting holes, but I think maybe it's just the light. I'll show you.
You can always go back after it dries when we're done and patch up the holes, Christina.
Can you see it?
Dry. You can tell, you can just kind of tap it if you want, but it'll be nice and kind of shiny if it's still wet. So if your canvas looks kind of all matte when you tilt it into the light, you can tell if it's dry. And so when your canvas is dry, just go ahead and tell me in the chat function. You can do it privately
Hey,
or to
guys.
everybody. And then once we have all 5 of us, all 5 of our screens, 7.
I think my cat is hiding in the wall because she hears voices.
You gotta
She's terrible.
clog that hole up, Christina.
I mean, it's not exactly a hole, it's just like an exposed part of the wall.
You should put some tinfoil up there. Have
She
you
would
seen that
break
where
through it.
well, it's supposed to scare them. Where
Well,
you
it
put
would scare
tinfoil.
her.
Well, if you scare her, then she won't go back up there and die in your wall.
I mean, it's pretty open. I just feel bad
What
that
if-
she's that scared. We lost you for a minute.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi at the paint post went out, so I had to move to data. We're good. Sometimes we're a little spotty.
Oh, no, she's not in the wall. She's down here.
So I didn't really do my center right. I just kind of shaped a llama because I wasn't sure what I was supposed to do.
I'm sure we can work with it. Our drama llama is very amorphous. There's a lot of freedom with all of her hair, so we could definitely figure it out.
Perfect.
And if at any time you just want to show me your painting, you can also get feedback. Perfect.
Keep mine in the view.
Yeah. My favorite part of this is always being able to see everybody's paintings. So if you show me, I'm going to be very happy. Oh, these are beautiful.
Mine looks a lot like Shaylee. So I'll hold it up for you too, so you can give me some feedback.
Please.
Carrie, you're blank again.
That's great. That's going to
There
give
we
your
go.
llama a great halo effect. I love the colors we're working with in the background. The blues and the greens are my favorite colors. So can't really go wrong.
Okay, good. I was worried. My mom hers looks so much different. So I'm like, oh.
Let's see
No, and
hers.
ones like this, yeah. Mm-hmm. But I think we've got a lot of room for
Whoa.
different.
Where's it so smooth?
I told her, I was like, yours looks like, oh, and mine doesn't.
Hers looks really good. Can Caden see Prudence?
No, he's busy with his cousin watching movies and building pillow forts in my living room.
Good. That's good.
We're almost there. My canvas is still a bit tacky.
Mine is at the very top. Well, no, some of the middle's still wet.
I use a ton of paint, so hopefully mine will be the last dry, and we'll be ready to go.
Get down. You cannot paint.
Christina, are you cool with Sunday for Adopt a Highway?
Yeah.
Okay. I figured you were free, but since it's supposed to rain tonight and then tomorrow, I figured that Saturday would be a little muddy.
Yeah.
Give it a day to dry up.
I know you're mad. But you can't do it.
We have a bunch of bottled water we'll bring to you guys on the highway.
I think we have a whole bunch in the storage unit too.
Yeah, I think there's still some down here. Got like a tub of beer and water.
Well, if you guys want to bring it so it's not stored at your house, then I can take it to the storage unit.
Yeah, that works.
Perfect.
Pick up your Gatorade.
Then I don't have to go to the storage unit before.
There you go. Put the lid on it and finish your food. Stop spinning.
Yeah, you finish your dinner, Missy. Christina, I should have sent you more cinnamon rolls because we're still eating them.
God, they were delicious.
Well, next time I'll send you more.
My girls said they would take some.
Yeah, you want some? Yeah, some. I want some.
Looks like I'll be having a cinnamon roll making party this weekend.
I think they can take all of mine because they were so good, but they're so unhealthy.
Oh, they're terrible for you, but they're delicious.
You're gonna go like this? Say hi.
Hi, Kaden.
Hi. Say hi.
Hi, new kid.
I'm so glad to see you're not crying.
I
felt
know,
so
he
bad
was
when
so
I
sad
left.
earlier.
He was like, "Why are you leaving?"
No, he didn't even know you, and he didn't want you to leave.
I know. I feel so bad.
About, I don't know, 30 seconds after you were gone, he was asleep on the couch.
Aw. So it wasn't all me. It was just nap time.
It was like way past nap time. He just,
Oh.
you know, kind of like skipped over nap time earlier.
I am still a little damp.
Yeah, mine is a tiny bit.
Mine's pretty dry, just a little wet.
So right now we really just need the center of the canvas to be dry, right about here,
That's
where
the
we're going to
wettest
just
part.
the mouth and nose of the llama.
Mine's still drying right there.
Is yours wet, Shaylee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should have started in the middle because I ended in the middle and now it's still pretty wet.
I didn't even think that far ahead. I'm gonna paint from the outside into the middle. We'll wait a few more minutes.
Aubrey, eat a couple pieces of chicken.
Mommy, you have two cats.
Hmm?
You have two cats. Like two? There's two what? Cats. That one? That one. Those are not yet. Well, why else come? I didn't even get mine to send you. Wait, what did you send to me?
Nothing.
What's the one now?
Eat your sweet potato. Eat your sweet potato fries.
What? No. Pizza. Just finished.
Go take your plate upstairs.
I'm gonna sing the whole every song in Frozen 2 without
I think I'm good. I'm a little tacky in one like quarter piece spot, but I think it'll be all right.
Okay, awesome. Everybody else good to go?
Yeah, I think so.
is yours good to go?
Yeah.
Yes, Mom's is.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to take a round brush. We're actually done with big brush if you want to pop that in your water cup.
Brown bus. Around the brush. Mom, is there this one?
And we're going to use our phthalo green, our nice dark green, and mix it with a little bit of white.
A little bit.
And I'm just going to kind of twirl my round brush in that to get a nice little point on the tip. Okay, so if we locate horizontally about the midpoint of our canvas here, I'm just gonna kind of eyeball where I think the middle is, and then I'm just gonna go up a little more than an inch above where I think the middle of my canvas is. And I'm just gonna paint an uppercase M for just the middle point of the llama's nose. It's kind of hard to see.
I don't see an M.
With the round brush?
With the round,
Should it be a little M or a big M?
a big M, like kind of like an uppercase M. So
I
since
mean,
it's
like size.
I don't see the M.
so on the original, we're doing this M right here.
Mine
So
might
it's
be
just
too
the
large.
nostrils. If it's too large, you can just, if you get some paper towel with just a tiny bit of water, you can wipe it off. Or when we paint in the nose, you can make it smaller effectively by just painting over it.
Yeah, I think I'll try that.
Yeah, okay, awesome. Yeah, so it's kind of hard for scale, but here's the full llama. If you want to see, we're just doing this little part here for roughly where it is. Okay. So now that we have the M, we're just going to continue the rest of the llama's nose. So we're going to go out from the sides of the M. And we're just going to make a circle to connect them, or half circle, for the top of the nose.
My llama's gonna have a huge nose.
Yeah, I think I put mine a little too high.
Totally fine. The top of her head is definitely smaller. You can always make her ears a little bit smaller. They can go off the canvas. She'll just have more character. Okay. So for where her nose connects to her mouth, we're going to go to the middle of the M and draw a line straight down. It's almost going to look like an umbrella. You don't want
How
it
far
too
down?
And at the bottom, we're going to just split a little to the side. And then we're going to come up right here. You can see the mouth taking shape. And then you're just going to bring that line up and go to the middle of where your M curved up and just connect them. And then there's just one more part, sort of, I don't know, her bottom lip, I guess. And it comes down here, like so.
It's gonna look great. The llama mouth.
That is
You guys
my
want a
mouth.
critic? I'll send him your way.
Oh, that looks great, Christina.
Oh, I thought it looked ridiculous.
You want to show me one more time? Well, it looks ridiculous now. It's like a floating llama mouth. Yeah, that looks perfect.
It just looks funny.
I think llamas look kind of funny, so.
I'm trusting you.
In my defense, llamas kind of like move their mouths back and forth, and mine's a little cockeyed. So it
Mine
looks
is too. He's like eating some straw, but that's what
Chewing
they
some
eat.
grass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Hi, guys.
So you can put round brush in water when you're done, and we're gonna take baby brush.
Buggy. Can't try to climb on my lap here. I played with her all day. Order a pizza. Make yourself useful.
Okay, so with baby brush, you're gonna take just a little bit of black on the tip. Just the tip. Just the tip. Just a little bit. And we're just going to add a little bit of shadow to her nostrils. So just under the V of the M, just gonna do a little bit of black. So she's going to look even more on, just for a little while.
Make me dinner. That sounds disgusting. That's fun. I don't know what that is. Claire, you can't crawling up my legs, punk. Everyone would screenshot you and I'd make them post it all over the internet.
After the black, you're gonna wanna rinse baby brush out.
Claire.
Okay. Now we're gonna make a little bit more of a minty green color, not super light, with that same dark green, mixing it with white, and we're using baby brush. And I'm just spinning baby brush in it to kind of get a little bit of a point. And we're just gonna fill in her mouth. You wanna leave your darker green outline. You wanna make sure you don't cover that up. And you can also leave a little bit of your background, kind of let that blue peek through. It's just kind of a nice artistic effect. You don't have to cover everything up because you've got really nice color in that background there, and it kind of shows through, and it just kind of gives her a nice character.
If you look just at that part, oh, we're calling the whole thing?
Yeah. All of the outlines we did. after that, we're gonna keep baby brush, but we're gonna clean it off and be using black next. For some fabulous lashes.
Sorry, I'm being a slow poke.
No, you guys, it's kind of hard for me to gauge where everybody is, so take your time and let me know when you're ready to go if you need more time.
Kale, come wrangle your child. She's half yours. Bunkers. I can't paint with you on my lap. We've tried this. It doesn't work.
Good.
You got it, Daddy.
My mom's looks like a monster mouth. Look at it.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Perfect.
Mine kind of looks like a lion.
I've decided mine looks a lot fatter than the original llama. It's kind of
Yeah,
Oh, mine's
a little
definitely.
chubby too. It's the Corona llama.
She's got issues. Until we give her fabulous lashes, then everything's gonna be okay. Cute little
She's
hair
beautiful in
decoration.
any size.
Very true. Very true. Besides, she's got so much attitude, no one's gonna give her any guff.
I really feel like mine kind of looks like a lion. I don't know why.
They kind of
Nice.
look like beetles.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to make sense out of like a floating nose and mouth in midair. A random llama.
Wonder what our psychology test would be. Carrie, what do you think?
Okay. I think everybody's done filling it in. Are you guys ready to start the lashes?
Yes.
Sweet. Okay, so we're gonna be using baby brush. And we're gonna take black with some water just to make it spread a little easier so we get kind of like a nice, almost like a feathered effect on the lashes. So I'm dipping baby brush in water before I spin it in just a little bit of black to get that nice little tip. So in terms of the top ridge of the nose here, I'm gonna go just below it and off to the side. And I'm just gonna draw, of course, the lash line first and just kind of make that symmetrical on both sides of her nose.
Oh, she's got a little wide set eyes.
She does. Are llamas normally? I don't know.
I have no idea.
I've never painted a llama before. She looks very peaceful though. And then for the lashes, we're gonna still be using that black with a little bit of water. And we're just gonna kind of go quick. And then you can do them of varying lengths. You just kind of let it feather out. Pull your paintbrush away from the canvas as you finish the stroke to kind of get that feathered effect.
And do it on the opposite side, the opposite way.
Yes, yeah. Away from the nose.
My llama has volume lashes. And a
Major
black eye.
volume. And a black eye. Got major volume happening. Whew. Yeah, they're so thick. Mine look like caterpillars. That's okay. They look better from a distance.
Kind of looks pretty
Uh, drag queen lashes going on here.
Woo. I love it. Oh.
And we will be using round brush next. Here's the lashes of the original gal.
Pretty close. Not really.
Very dramatic. Okay. So now we're going to start working on her bangs, and we're going to use baby brush with some whites.
Oh, wait, I thought you said brown brush.
No, you're right, round brush. Round brush with some whites.
Okay. Whew,
Yeah.
I got
Baby
scared
brush
for a
on my
second.
I'm glad you said something. Okay. So it's just going to be pure white. Okay. And we're just going to kind of find the outline of her head. She's going to kind of come out here. And just going to be little lines coming up, not going all the way down to her eyelashes. Kind of like tally marks up here. And then it's going to curve up to the top of her head in like a little half circle. And for a little while, it's going to kind of look like a jellyfish. And once you find your outline of her head, you can continue the white stripes kind of all the way up here. You don't want to paint the whole thing in. You definitely want your background to be showing through. But you can go thicker on the white, sort of in the middle of where her bangs are. And I'm leaving just a little bit over on the left side of her head. I'm not really focusing on filling that in because there'll be flowers there. And if you've already filled that in, you can just cover it up with the flowers, but you don't have to focus on that area because we'll be covering it up anyway.
Ooh, she had a bad haircut.
And kind of when you've got that jellyfish on top of her head, we're going to be building up some of the white. And remember to let the background show through, because it's really a cool effect in the original. I didn't fill in all of her bangs, and there's space between her eyelashes and her bangs. And we're going to start building in that white under her lashes. Don't want to go too far. And you can leave space between her mouth and her hair, but you're just going to kind of start filling in short downward strokes with round brush. You're going to start filling in where all of that fabulous hair is going to be, and this is sort of the background, the base layer, the white of the llama.
Are you adding water to your brush or just straight paint?
There was a little bit of water left over on my palette, but now it's just straight paint.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's definitely not too thick. We're kind of going for almost a wispy effect anyway.
Okay.
So if you have a little bit of water in your brush, that's perfectly, it'll really work. Under her eyes, around her mouth. Down into her beard a little. Poor lady. He has a beard.
The drag queen eyes.
The beard.
No wonder she's the drama llama.
Quite tough. And then just a little bit, after you kind of find the outline of where she's going to be and build up that white, it's going to start streaking out a little. So you'll use that light touch and you'll kind of just make little wispies near the top of that there.
And where were your wispies?
Just off to the side a little bit here. So we're actually going to, her hair is shorter, kind of under her eyes. So there'll be shorter wispies out under here, and then we'll kind of get progressively longer as we go down. So we're going to start kind of finding her shape, and it's going to be longer strokes as you come down, building out from her beard.
It's not looking too bad.
Woo-hoo.
She doesn't look that bad when I look at her, but when I look at her through my screen, it looks funny.
One thing I've taken to doing when I'm painting is actually looking through my camera, like having the camera open on my phone and looking at
Yeah.
my phone as I'm painting, because it gives you a different perspective. It's almost like seeing it from a distance or seeing it through somebody else's eyes, because it can look completely different on a screen.
It definitely does look completely different.
It's actually a really good trick to use. And we are going to take her nice long hair all the way down to the bottom of the canvas. And make sure that she's not too blocky. You do want her to kind of, you want this kind of a shape where she comes in and goes out just a little. And then you kind of want her hair to swag off to the right just a little bit. Like that's kind of in the back of the canvas where she would be standing is off to the right just a little. So you kind of want to emphasize and sweep out to the right just a little bit more.
Kind of looks like a jellyfish.
Should have never brought up jellyfish. Oh no. It's looking awesome. And it really helps. You don't want to emphasize the difference between her head and her neck. So you don't want it to come in too much from where her face and head is. You kind of want to make sure you bring that out. So it's just kind of a big, long llama head.
Mine's a fat llama head.
That is a lot of fur.
It's a close-up.
I like that.
Kind of like how my buffalo took up the whole canvas. That's what the llama's doing.
I think I'm doing better with the llama than the buffalo though.
I really like to zoom in on my subjects, like a really close up of a flower, or have my animals go off the canvas. So I always like it when it's closer up. I think it makes a real statement. Honestly, that's a good thing. Just kind of.
Very fluffy. It's winter.
My llama's very.
I'm telling you, it's the Corona one, so she hasn't had a haircut yet.
Yeah. I think it was maybe Germany. I heard they opened up barber shops again, and that there were lines down the sidewalk because they've been closed down longer than we have, and everybody needed a haircut.
Christina,
Buffalo
yours.
opened up.
Yeah, ours are
Buffalo?
talking about it.
Well, everything's opening back up, at least.
Yeah, the
hair
governor
salons
just
are.
said May 1st they can open back up. Barbershops and gyms.
Sorry, I had to unmute you. Right, there's excuse me, house full of kids behind me. And my wife is paint posting via Zoom tonight, so.
Christina, yours is way more proportionate than Myrna's.
Oh, that's
You know, I
pretty
think there's been some very
good.
valid
Where's
points
his
made. I
eye?
think couple of things that I think of, first of
Why are you
all,
on
They
meeting?
kind of look like owls.
or, we're doing a reverse teacher parade tomorrow night at the school. So something where people can drive by and you can still celebrate
That
people.
looks pretty.
Whether it was if the park's open, maybe we do a
Mom,
drive
who
through and
do
have
you
stuff set up on the band
like?
shell for 2 hours.
They all look good. I like that they're all different
And then if team captains
How are they all
healthier
different?
and feeling more comfortable.
because everybody's painting, but
At the same
everybody does it
time,
different.
maybe the caretakers and the people that are a little healthier. And some way to recognize them, but then also ability for people to drive by or walk by and be still at a social distance and kind of be a part of it as well. I think the other thing that, and I don't know much about this end of it, but how does it affect the overall budget and income of Relay for Life if there is absolutely
Sorry, Jared's on a relay
have the
meeting,
money
so
in their budget anyway?
We're
Are
all
some of these
Zooming.
Companies still planning, allocating money, to help sponsor Relay, and if they are,
So once we have her outline done, she does kind of look like a big floating jellyfish. Just a little bit, that's okay. Tomorrow she'll look like a beautiful llama. Sometimes we're a little too close. We're actually going to do her ears. And we're going to do nice thick lines. So just kind of from the center line of her head, coming off to the right a little. We go kind of out at an angle, almost like a 45-degree angle, and then we're gonna come up and then down about 2 inches is, I'd say, how thick her ears are. We're gonna come out here and then curve up to meet that. And then, so we come out at a 45-degree angle and curve around. And then they come at the top and they meet up. And it's just a nice thick white line. And you'll go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Getting things symmetrical can be so hard. And llama ears are pretty big, so if you decide they're too small, you can just kind of keep outlining them with that white on your paintbrush and make them bigger. Just go along the outside of the outline until they're about the size you want. Mine are pretty large. They're huge. She has big ears. Excellent hearing. So the next step, we're going to keep round brush. And we're going to take our phthalo green with some water. And you can go ahead and clean the white off of your round brush. It'll make it a bit easier to work with. And we don't want our dark green to be too thick. So go ahead and dip your brush in water. And then I like to kind of just tap it off on the side of the cup and roll round brush in it. We don't want it to be too thick, but we want to keep that dark color. So we're just thinning it out with a little bit of water. And then we're going to just do some of the low lights on her face and hair. And I'm just using the very tip of my brush very lightly. And I'm just kind of, she has some coming down around here. I'm not covering all of the white. In this case, less is definitely more. We still want, you know, her to be a white llama, but just kind of going out on the edges a little. Kind of helping to see her shape a little more. You can see I left white on the inside here and on the outside, and I just used the very tip of my brush to add some of that green. And when I'm getting more paint, I'm also getting a little bit more water. And then on the outer edges here, I'm just going to also just kind of sweep out here and there. Just a little bit. And then after I'm done with that, I'm going to use that dark phthalo green. And I'm just going to fill in her ears on the inside of the white.
How thick should the white be on the ears?
It's pretty thick. I'd say 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. I've got a nice thick border on my ears. And my ears are huge. So, yeah. Nice large long ears.
I made my llama's head a little too big, so she has little ears. Or at least the ears are up over the painting.
There you go. They're just hidden from view. And anybody who looks at it will automatically fill that in. They'll just know they're there. My llama's ears are probably a little too large, but I think they're kind of cute.
I think they're cute.
Thanks. And then once you're done filling in the ears, you can go ahead and clean off round brush again. And we're going to take that beautiful sort of goldenrod yellow, mustardy yellow. I think they call it raw sienna. And we want a nice thick layer of this on our round brush, so we don't want any water on our brush with the yellow. And we're just going to paint in our flowers. So she has sort of a large flower she's going to have on the left ear, a large flower in the middle, and then 2 smaller flowers on either side. So they're just basic petals. And I'm just going to continue those all the way around the flower. And we're going to have to do another layer of this yellow. And we'll do the first layer now and come back for the second.
How many petals per flower?
It might depend on the size of your petals, but I'm probably going to have 7. Or 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Never mind. My flowers always depend on how randomly big I decide to make my bucket. So I've got a larger sort of star-looking flower because it's got 5 in the middle, and I'm just going to do slightly smaller ones on either side.
Are we gonna like define them? Because I don't think my round brush really made them look anything but blobs.
So this goldenrod color is a little bit thinner than I was expecting. So I might have us add just a little bit of white to it for the second layer, because a lot of these colors are pretty thin, really. They have a beautiful rich color, but they're pretty thin. And by adding just a little bit of white, it's amazing how much more opaque they become. So if you add just a little bit of white to your goldenrod, you'll find that you get a lot more definition. So I added just a little bit of white there. And it's probably hard to tell on the screen, but I can tell a difference. It really helps. And the second layer will also help to define them. And if they're not defined enough, we can give them an outline of white. And when we give them their centers as well, it'll just sort of trick the eye into knowing their flowers. And if you finish that first layer on your flowers, we're going to keep round brush and we're going to keep that nice goldenrod color. And we'll just do a few highlights around the edges of her ears on the inside with that yellow. And we're going to use just a little bit in her bangs. But mostly, we're going to highlight in her beard on top of some of that green we used. And I'm going to use a little bit of water with the yellow this time. And I'm going to stick more toward the outside of all of her hair, whereas with this green, we kind of emphasize the point of the beard. I'm going to stick a little bit more toward the bottom and the outside. We're going to do a few highlights of the yellow on her mouth here and at the top of her nose. Just a little bit on top of that green on the inside of her ear. Just looking pretty cute. And after I do those highlights, I'm just gonna go back and do another layer of color on my flowers. And then after you're done with the yellow highlights, we're going to clean round brush. We're going to be using the round brush next.
Using round again.
Yeah, yeah. And we're going to be taking phthalo green with just a little bit of black, just to give it a little bit of a different tone. Rolling round brush in that.
What are we working on right now? After we do the highlights, what are we doing with the black?
We'll be working on these little leaves on the side of her head in that dark green color.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Libby, what do you have in your mouth?
So these leaves, they start over on the left-hand side of her head, and they're a little bit disjointed. They're not all connected, but they kind of curve and then come up to a point, and then they come down.
And then the next 2 weeks, I will only work Tuesday.
Kind of like little commas.
I'm getting there now. Okay, 2 and then like
On what day?
go 2 and
And how many of the leaves?
oh, this one. What?
So we're going to do 5 of the leaves on the side of her head. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're going to come down below her eyes. We're going to do 2 below her eyelash. and we're going to do 3 along the left-hand side of her head. And then we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 on the outside, kind of floating around the flowers. So 1, 2. Let's see, where am I going to fit my third one? I think I'm going to actually just do it right out here, floating in space. 3. And then there's going to be 1 up here. And I'm kind of making them all point in slightly different directions. And this one is going to point down. And then I'm actually going to go on top of my flowers, just a little. Some leaves on here. I'm going to do 1 on top, pointing up. And 1 more over here, going out. So how are those coming?
Kind of a mustache going on her forehead.
Let me see. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Told ya.
That's great. I love your
it though. Look
Yeah.
at her mouth. It's so distinctive. Like it's like you can see it.
She
That's
looks
good,
like
everything. She's very fluffy.
I love her.
Got
I
a
think
thick
she looks
neck.
really cool.
I'm staring at mine through the camera and I'm just laughing at her.
So while you have that phthalo green on your round brush, if you've got those basic leaves, you can add just a fewer dark lowlights on her beard, far less than we've done so far. Just to add another layer of texture. And then we are going to clean round brush. And we're going to do just some of that straight red on baby brush for the centers of our flowers. And it doesn't have to be a perfect circle in the middle of the flower. Just kind of locate the middle. Get some red in there. And then you can go ahead and clean baby brush again. And we're going to use black with a little bit of water on baby brush. And this is basically kind of our final layer of low lighting. We're just going to give her bangs a little bit more definition here. Just kind of light swipes, kind of almost like under her bangs where some shadows would be. Just a nice light touch. And after you've got that done, you're going to clean baby brush one more time. If I'm going too fast, just holler and we'll slow down and I can repeat a step or we can wait just a minute. So with baby brush, we're going to roll it in some white. And we're just going to give from the center of the flowers, kind of on the outside of the red, just a little bit of highlighting, which also helps show us the shape of the flowers. I don't know about you guys. I'm really kind of liking my llama.
Yes, I am too.
You like your llamas?
Yes.
Awesome.
It was growing on me till I did the bangs.
I just think she's got a lot of great color, a lot of attitude, and it's fabulous.
My cat is coughing. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh, your poor cat.
You hear that noise? That's what it is.
Okay, and we are going to clean Baby Brush just one more time. This is actually our last step. We're going to get that mustard yellow color again with a little bit of the white to make it a little more opaque. And where our dark green leaves are, we're going to give them kind of like if you layered two petals together and then just offset them a little. We're going to start the base kind of at the same place. Kind of put some of those petals on top of the green. Not all of them, just a few. Like
Is
she's
it
got
more yellow than white?
yes, yes. Just enough white to make the yellow kind of a little bit more opaque, which means you don't have to, so we don't have to put as many layers in. But still a nice goldenrod yellow. I think I also want one on top of this guy, but I'm not going to do all of them. And I'm not going to go over the ones around the flowers because those are more like petals, and this is kind of like more a head decoration over here. And then as soon as you finish that step, pick your favorite spot and sign your llama. You're gonna do mine in yellow. Bye, Leslie. And when everybody's done, we all have to see all of them before you're allowed to talk. I would love to see your paintings.
And I think we should take a picture.
Absolutely, like it's, I'm sure we could like screenshot it.
Mom, you know you're computer?
Yeah, my computer died.
How do you know what you're gonna do?
I'm on my phone. Okay, are you guys done?
I'm not sure.
Almost.
I think she's talking to her kids.
Sorry, I was talking to my kids. They're playing the Wii.
I'm not getting there, Jeff. I'm getting there.
We have 2 more rounds.
What?
Yeah. Well, not 2 more rounds, just like 2 more circles left. Yeah, this way.
That's what you guys had last time I was down here. Did you start over?
No, we didn't. Stop it. It looks like we're all the same thing. Yeah. Nobody would.
Anticipation thing and guessing.
No,
When I was down here, they just run round 2 of 5.
Yeah, no one wants to be.
Oh, game over.
And we're already. No, I don't want to get on.
I don't care. It's 8 o'clock. Bedtime. Okay.
How is everybody tying in the flowers?
You have to go to that.
Yeah, my computer.
Why are we even cheering for?
Okay, girls, just put your remotes down. If you guys want a yogurt, please go get one.
Well, we had
Here's mine.
Awesome. I have a little darker yellow outline on mine.
Oh, that's a pretty
Well,
flower.
mine are a little bit different. Can I see yours? This was my mom's.
Oh,
it's
beautiful.
so pretty. You guys are so good.
The lashes are fabulous.
Thanks, I did them. Both. Can I say hi? Can I see Mama? Whoa.
Good night, Mom.
I'll be upstairs for you.
Okay.
Here, see baby. Go see. Go see Granny.
Yeah, I think if we all hold up our paintings, when you guys are ready, take your time. I can take a screenshot. Oh, Victoria, your llama's amazing.
Let me see it.
Look at
Ooh.
big. Beautiful.
Let's see Sabrina's. She did her cat. Oh, I love it. That's too cute.
It's great. Cute.
Not really sure what this part is over here.
Here's mine.
Beautiful.
I did. Right there. My white. Or blue lips. This is my white.
I want to have blue lips.
Oh my goodness. You okay?
Okay. It's on your toe.
Oh, Shaylee, I love it.
Are we ready?
Yeah, if we could all hold it up at the same
I
time.
like it. I like it. So cute. What is
I love the cat.
Would you be able to hold your llama up, Carrie?
Yeah. Hey, can I see your llama too? I'll hold them both up.
Yeah. Aw.
You're so cute.
Oh, that's perfect. Awesome. All right, I got some pictures.
Yay!
Woohoo! Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.